Hi, this is a premium typewriter. I'm Alpha, your host. Welcome to my channel. It's been a while, I know. If you have been subscribed to this channel for some time, you probably remember this is the place where I used to talk about Expand Mac Mini. SSD upgrading solution for the Mac Mini M4, generally trying to make that Mac Mini a more useful device. And then I more or less disappeared. Well, not because I ran out of things to do, quite the opposite, actually. So for the past year, I have been building this. It's a browser. It's called Phi Browser. And before that, I spent the better part of the last 10 years building Phi OS, a browser-centric operating system as an alternative to Google Chrome OS. Phi OS is still very much a thing, by the way. It still thrives in its own arena. A huge part of that journey has involved Chromium and the browser world in one form or another. So this may look like a pivot, but really it isn't. It's more like the next chapter of the same obsession that I have. Okay, so if you told me a year ago I'd be building a new browser in 2025 and 2026, I probably would have said that this sounds like a terrible and stupid idea, and that's fair. If Phi were just another browser, I probably wouldn't have been bothered. But Phi Browser is not just another browser. I know everyone says this, but hear me out. It's a browser on the surface, but it's an AI agentic system underneath. Or more simply, Phi is an AI agent system disguised as a browser. Well, that disguise matters because I have spent a long time thinking about where an AI system should actually live if it wants to become genuinely useful. A lot of AI systems today only know what you explicitly tell them. They know your prompt, they know your request, they know the task you hand over right now. But that's not the same thing as knowing you. And most people do not spend their whole day actively talking to an agent. We use an agent when we need one, but we use a browser almost every day. That difference matters. The browser is where you read, the browser is where you search, the browser is where you compare prices, the browser is where you do research, the browser is where you actually work. It's one of the few pieces of software people are genuinely willing to spend hours inside every single day, even without noticing. And that makes it a very natural place for memory and context to grow. Now, I know the obvious follow-up question for that. Why a browser? Why not build this as an operating system? Why not make some system-level assistant or app out of that? Well, the answer is pretty simple to me. An operating system is too much friction to adopt. Well, I built Phi OS, remember? So when I say this, I do actually keep the receipt. A system-level app or watcher is too creepy. It functions almost exactly like a spyware. A browser, on the other hand, is something people already use, already understand, and already want. I didn't want to build a little spy sitting on a corner of your desktop pretending to be helpful. I want to build a real piece of software, a useful one, a good one. Something you would actually choose to use every day. That's why Phi is a browser first, and I really do mean that. Phi has to stand on its own as a browser. It has to be fast, it has to be polished, it has to be pleasant, it has to feel native on the operating system, in this case, Mac OS. And yes, I should say this directly. If you ever liked Arc browser by the browser company, you'll probably understand Phi immediately. Arc and its successor Dia set a very high bar for what modern browser on macOS could feel like. Vertical tabs, thoughtful layout, a strong sense of craft, a browser that actually felt designed instead of merely assembled. That mattered. Phi is not trying to cosplay as Arc though, and I'm not here to make a video about another company, but I do think Arc established a taste level and a set of expectations that many of us still care about. So if you were an Arc user or like that style of browser or wanted something with that same sense of care and native macOS craftsmanship, Phi should make sense to you very quickly. That's the first layer though. A proper browser first and foremost. Then comes the second, it's memory. And to be clear, this part is not some completely original revelation. A lot of self-claimed AI browsers already talk about memory. A lot of them have memory features. I'm pretty sure most of the ideas I've had have been also had by other people. Nobody is descending from the mountains carrying a brand new stone tablet at this point in 2026, let's be honest. So the difference is not that Phi has memory, the difference is how we think memory should work. Phi is local first. Your memory stay on your machine, period. Your life stories, your habits, your preferences, those random things you're obsessed over at 2 in the morning, the things you keep coming back to, the shape of your digital life, we believe that should belong to you. Not to us, not to some cold server room in the middle of the desert, not to whichever giant company happens to be monetizing personal contacts this quarter. That data belongs to you. And because it belongs to you, you should be able to inspect it, edit it, delete it, and export it to whichever other AI services whenever you want. So in Phi, memory is not some sealed black box where the browser vaguely learns you and you can trust the process. You can actually open it up and look around. You can see what it knows. You can change it, you can remove things, you can take it with you. And honestly, it's just quite fun to play with it. I've just touched on a design principle that Phi has, which is local first. Now, this is vital for a few reasons. First, your memory and your personal data always stay local, period. We're not interested in collecting them and processing them for money. This is simply not what we do here. Second, you keep full control over your data. It belongs to you and no one else. Phi is just the container we built to help you capture and make use of it. Finally, we're not building Phi in order to push our own model or trap you inside some vertically integrated AI stack. We're not a giant platform company with an agenda to turn your memory into a product gravity. We are an independent boutique software company. We build software, we like open source, we believe the tools should serve the user, not the other way around. And I think that difference in incentive matters a lot. Because once browsers start becoming more intelligent, the real question is not what they can remember. The real question is then, who does that memory serve? That, to me, is one of the biggest reasons Phi should exist at all. Now let this sink in. And once you have that memory, once the system starts building context around your real life, then the browser stops being just a browser. It starts becoming more useful in a deeper way. Then comes the agentic layer. Phi can do things for you. I know this is new in 2026, but still, it can help you with tasks. It can execute actions. It can run things not just interactively, but also autonomously, even on a schedule. And that's the one reason Phi makes so much sense on a Mac Mini. A Mac Mini is the kind of machine that just stays there. It stays quiet, it stays on, it stays available. So in a strange but in a really real way, Phi is also another way to expand the Mac Mini. Not by upgrading the SSD this time, but by turning it into something more continuously useful. A machine that is ready when you are at your desk. A machine that is still working when you are not. A machine that can keep Phi alive as an always available helper. So for people who found this channel through Expand Mac Mini, this is actually the same instinct, just a different form. And when you are away from your desk, Phi doesn't just go disappear. We built Phi Link so you can talk to Phi through your mobile messaging app. So if your Mac is on, Phi is there. If Phi is there, you can reach it. And if you can reach it, the browser becomes something more persistent than just a window you open and close. You have your browser memory, your saved context, your bookmarked read later articles, all right there within your favorite IM app. Now, this is pretty much Phi Browser brings to the desktop as of today. But there is one more part that matters to me. And I think this is where things get really interesting. Phi is not just built for you as humans, it's built for agents too. We're getting into the world where software is no longer only used by the person sitting in front of the screen. It's also used by coding agents, workflow agents, automation agents, whatever name we're using this week. And a lot of those agents still interact with the web in a pretty awkward way. They launch a fake fresh browser with no state, no sessions, no history, and all of a sudden they will hit a login wall or the human verification. And suddenly the magic looks less magical. A real browser matters because a real browser has continuity. And that's the part what Phi is for. It's built for humans, but it's also ready for agents. It has the real browser environment, real context, real logged-in state, and interfaces that make it possible for other tools to work with it properly. So this is not just a browser with an AI chat box bolted onto the side, it's a browser for you and increasingly a browser for your agents too. So when I say Phi Browser is the browser that knows you, I don't mean that as a gimmick. I mean it quite literally. If AI is going to become truly useful, it needs context. If it needs context, it needs memory. If it needs memory, it needs a place where real life actually happens. So for a lot of us, that place today is still the browser. And if that browser is going to remember your life, then that memory should stay with you. It should stay local. It should stay under your control. It should serve you, not someone else's platform strategy. And that's why I built Phi Browser. And maybe one day this idea grows beyond just the browser, maybe it reaches further into the system, maybe even in hardware. I'm not ruling that out, but today, this is the right shape for that idea. The most natural surface, the lowest friction path, the most human way to begin, and this is Phi. Now, if this idea resonates with you, try Phi Browser. It's available to download at phibrowser.com today. Use it, break it, question it, and push it around. I think that's the only way software like this gets good. Well, that's all from me today. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Ciao.